All right. Live. It is Tuesday, 12 p.m. Coffee with me, coffee with Eddie. Okay, I've got two things going on at the same time. For those of you who is the first time here, I've got the camera right here in front of my computer, and I've got over here my phone doing the Instagram live. All right. So in case you see me keep looking this way, that's because they're looking at me here, you're looking at me here, and everybody's happy. Check this out. So I've got this microphone here. It's right in front of me. Reason for that is because I am doing a podcast at the same time. I know. I'm just going bananas with this technology. I've got all these cool gadgets, and I could tell you this is the first time I'm seeing this, or not seeing it. I'm using this, and as a matter of fact, hold on. Let me make sure that we are in the right place. How do I do that? How do I check? I'm live right now. Well, I guess the best way is for me to go online and to check. Give me just a moment. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you're having a great Tuesday. I'm very, very grateful to be here with you guys. Had a rough weekend. My girls, well, at least one of my girls got sick, and I'm a very light sleeper, so I wake up pretty easy. But thank God she is fine today, and I got to sleep last night a bit longer than the usual, so it was good. It was good. All right, so what I'm looking at right now, if you guys don't mind, I'm just checking my Facebook. I want to see if I'm in the right page, basically. Let's see. It looks like I am. Okay, it looks like I am. Cool. So what I'll do is I am going to, let's see, what am I doing? I'm going to, I'm going to type here, I am live right now. Right now. So come over and take your coffee break with me. Oh, check this out, guys. I'm talking about this. Yes, this is the sales book to have. It's really good, and the kids love it too. It's really good stuff. I'm gonna put here talking about a sales book and how kids love it. All right, and I'm posting that right now. Cool beans. All right. Well, this is good, 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 good. And let me turn this off. All right, awesome. Right on, guys, right on. So, wonderful. Welcome again to another Tuesday Coffee with Eddie. And if you don't mind, what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to go ahead and start my recording for the podcast. So let me go ahead and start that right now. Here we go. Hold on here. Okay, so I'm stopping that. Okay. All right, this is Eddie San coming to you to another episode. Episode 3, I believe, guys. This is episode 3. And this is Coffee with Eddie, a show where we talk about how to create a lifestyle of freedom and purpose. You know, basically, I do believe that every one of us has a purpose in life. We've been created specifically and individually to make a change and to create something. You know, we have this spirit. Every one of us has a spirit. I'm sure you've experienced that, right? Where you feel like you have to create something or change something So yeah, just understand that you've got something in you that you just have to find. Be patient and be tenacious. Keep going, persevering to find what your call and your purpose is, and have that freedom. All right, and that's what we cover about this show. That's what we do. So before I get to this book, again, this is the book that I'm actually see it. Let's see if you can see it. I got to put it this way so that Instagram peeps can see it. This is the book that I'm going to actually talk to you about today. Yeah, Button Soup. Have you ever heard of that? All right. So, oh, hey Irene, good to see you. Good to see. Well, I can't see you, but you can see me. So, oh yeah, by the way, guys, people in the podcast. So I'm doing this live right now on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and I'm recording my podcast at the same time. So if you happen to hear me say hi to someone, well, it's because I'm live. Okay. So yeah, this is the book that we're going to cover, The Button Soup, with Daisy, and now he becomes Scrooge, Uncle Scrooge. It's really, really a cool book. But first, we've got to talk a little bit about coffee, right? Because again, this is Coffee with Eddie, so it kind of makes sense to talk a bit about coffee. And today's coffee, you already saw me sipping this coffee. I know for those of you who are live looking at me right now, you can possibly tell, I know you can tell that it's darker, right? The past two, here, let me do this right here. The past two coffees that I've had have been lighter than this. This is a lot darker. So this one, it's a bold coffee. You might know them as Peet's Coffee, and it's basically roasted very well. Okay, it's a dark roast. That's why it's dark, right? And it tastes great. So here's the thing, right? With coffee, you've got different. You only got about two types of beans, okay? But basically, the roasting process is the one that you get very varieties of out there, very different companies. So my preferred type of coffee is the one that it's not too acidic. You probably, if you ever tasted coffee, you probably felt that, right? You felt like it was just too acidic, and that's why you needed to add sugar. Well, let me tell you guys, I don't add any sugar. I don't add any cream, obviously, to this because the taste is just so different when it's not acidic. It's a bold taste, but you can drink it. It's drinkable. And it leaves a little bit of an aftertaste, like the coffee beans, like that roasted aftertaste. So again, today is a dark roast, and it's really, really, really good. Mm, I love it. I love coffee. Can you tell? Anyway, all right, guys. So let's get started with this book. Okay. So today we're going to cover why is it that salespeople are just so annoying sometimes, don't you think? I mean, really, like, forget the car dealership salespeople. Okay, those are just another level of salesmanship. Some of them are not too professional. You probably experienced that, and it's not that their fault. Okay, I mean, you got to understand, you and I, if we are in the people business, we must learn to communicate with people. And if we have something to sell, we've got to become professionals. I mean, seriously, people are fed up of the push, push, push to sell, buy this, buy it now, or worse, right? This is a business opportunity that you got to join right now because it's going to be too late. And you just keep pushing people away. And so happened that I was reading this book to my baby girl, right? And she likes reading, for us to read to her. And so I kept reading this book, and I noticed that this thing has an amazing story of how to become or how to be a professional salesperson, a professional, right? So let me start reading this to you, and I'm going to actually see if you can catch. So I'm going to give you the little background of this. So this is Daisy and Uncle Scrooge. So Daisy, if you can tell, she's cooking up something, and Uncle Scrooge here is looking at her over her shoulders, right? And Daisy basically went to visit Uncle Scrooge, and no one liked Uncle Scrooge in the town because he was very mean, right? And he was very stingy, all right? So Daisy went ahead and stayed with him, and of course, Uncle Scrooge was so mean to her that he told her he doesn't have food or a place to stay, so might as well just don't come here, leave. So, but Daisy was very persistent about staying with him. And she went on to the house and asked the question if there was a pot in the house. And Uncle Scrooge says, yes, there's a pot. And then she says, is there water? And sure enough, she gets the water and she turns on the fire or gets the fire going and starts boiling this water. Now get this, Uncle Scrooge doesn't have an idea, doesn't want to share anything that he has. Like I said, very mean guy. And, Daisy is like, I'm hungry. And she knows that he's Scrooge, right? He's mean. But she wants to do something for him, but he's just not willing to give it. So this is where the sales process starts. And I want you to pay attention to what she does. So basically, it's called the button soup because, like I said, if you're looking at me live, you can see the picture. There's Daisy with the button, and Uncle Scrooge says, "Well, hey, I don't have any food. What are you gonna cook? What do you mean you're gonna do something?" And he's like mean, right? And Daisy says, "Well, yeah, I got a button. Have you ever had button soup?" And Uncle Scrooge's like, "What? A button?" And she's like, "Yeah." So she drops into the boiling water this button, a small button, right? So the story keeps going, and this is what it says, right? So Uncle Scrooge says, "So you can make soup with just one button?" said Scrooge. "I don't believe it." And he watched Daisy drop the red button into the pot. "And what do you call it?" And Uncle Scrooge asked, and Daisy said, "A button soup." And then Uncle Scrooge kept watching Daisy, and then Daisy sniffs the soup. And she's like, mmm. And then the stingiest fellow in the West, Uncle Scrooge, is getting curious. Curiosity. He's now getting curious, right? So guess what? He goes now over, and now Uncle Scrooge sniffs the soup. But he did not smell anything. So Daisy began to stir very quickly. As she stirred, she said, "Whenever I make this soup at home," Daisy says, "I always use some salt and pepper. But since you have no food in the house, I guess you have no salt and pepper." "I don't have any food," says Uncle Scrooge, "but I always save some salt and pepper for a rainy day." Voila! Now he goes and finds salt and pepper, right? And he keeps going, right? He goes and finds it, and then he comes back with it, and Daisy pours it, and so she keeps staring and staring, and then all of a sudden she says, Daisy began to stir again, and she stirred and stirred, and she said, "I once made this soup with an old soup bone. It really was delicious, but if you have no food, one button will have to do." Well, guess what happened? Uncle Scrooge goes out and goes to the basement, and he finds and was able to find a bone. Okay, a beef bone, I guess, whatever it was. And he finds this juicy, big, humongous bone and takes it up to Daisy. And again, Daisy keeps stirring and drops it in there. And then The soup starts to boil more and bubble, and it smells good, says Uncle Scrooge. And this soup, says Daisy, won a blue ribbon at the State Farm, she says. But that time, I used potatoes and carrots. Well, heck, what does Scrooge do? He goes out and he finds and runs into the barn and finds some potatoes and vegetables and carrots and brings it back to Daisy, right? Now remember, this guy, he's stingy. He doesn't have anything at the house, but yet he's now able to find these things, right? And Daisy, have you noticed the pattern here, right? She keeps asking the questions and he's letting him find those things. So he comes back with all this stuff and he comes back with onions and anyway, so before you know it, right, Daisy's got this nice, awesome, smelling good soup going on when Scrooge first started to say that he had no food. Now this girl's got this soup going with just a button, right? And then she says this is the funniest thing. She says, well, this is so much food, we need to invite everyone over. And of course, Scrooge started to get a little hesitant about that. No, he doesn't want anybody. Well, what happens is that he says, but he says, share it. Let's pour it into jars and save it. Food is hard to get, says Scrooge. And then Daisy says, but Uncle Scrooge, don't you remember we made this soup with just one button? Just one button. And Scrooge says, well, you know what? That's right. That's right. So they went out and, everybody, look at the picture. Everybody starts drinking the soup and everybody is really happy, right? Well, get this. Daisy leaves the house and Scrooge is like worried. He's like, wait, but what's going to happen? You're not going to make any more soup. And he says, and I don't have stuff to do. I don't know what to do. And Daisy says, well, Uncle Scrooge, remember, it only takes one button. He's like, you're right. I can keep going and making more. So that's the story. Now, what has that got to do with sales? I hope you are paying attention to my non-reading, grammar and whatever I said. I hope I sounded good. I'm not a storyteller as most folks who are, but did you hear that? She started with one button. In sales, as salespersons, again, in the people business, what happens is that we tend to push things down people's throat, right? Because we're excited, and some of us don't even have the proper training, don't even know that a book like this exists, the Button Soup book. But what happens? Daisy starts with one button. How about you do that with your business? How about you start with giving something of value? Okay? As a matter of fact, if you look at what she did the entire time, she kept insinuating, right, that this is what she used to do, and the blue ribbon was given to her soup and all this stuff. And she allowed Scrooge to find the answer, the solution, because he was getting curious. She started with a button and curiosity. As again, if you want to actually succeed in any type of product or service that you offer, you want to get the person curious, right? Curious. Next step is you want to have a funnel. You want to have a way to take this person from point A to point B, meaning from you meeting this person to eventually your business opportunity or your product or your service, whatever it is that you have at the end of that funnel, that's where you want to take them. But you've got to do it step by step. So you offer information, you give value, you open up curiosity. The person, just like Scrooge says, well, what's it going to take to make this soup now? and she says, well, now I used to do salt and pepper in this event, and it won the blue ribbon with vegetables and this and carrots and potatoes. So what about you and your funnel? What about you say, well, I gave you this valuable information and I'm glad it's helping you, but it takes, if you really want to do this to another level to see results, it takes having, I'll just give you an example. It takes having a web page, okay? And in the web page, it takes putting a video to give this information freely. And it takes having a microphone to make sure that you're recording yourself properly and the sound is good, right? So now what is this person going to do? Now it's going to say, awesome, that's a great idea, but what kind of mic? Where do I go to get a website? They will ask for more. See, leading someone to a sale is way, way different than selling someone to what you want to do, to what you want to give them. All right? Totally different. You can take somebody by the hand and drag them with you to make a sale, or you could give them value and they will start not only getting curious, but gaining trust, wanting to come back for more. I'm gonna leave you with this example. So back in the days, when I was in network marketing, and again, my head was not straight. This was, 15 years ago. 15 years ago. Wow, that's pretty long. So back in that day, I was so excited. Let's make money together, right? And literally, I would go out and speak to strangers. And my goal was, my coach at that time had given me a challenge and a goal. And it was to get a phone number, a name and a phone number, so that I will continually build my list, right? And yeah, if you guys haven't done that, it's fun. You're going to have the guts to do it. But to go out, and I will go out to the malls, I will go out to places, and I will see somebody and I will get all excited. And of course, the first few times it wouldn't work because I would be all nervous. But then eventually I gave it all my best and, got the name and number, right? And I kept getting better and better. Well, what happens is that a lot of the other people with me that they were attempting to do the same thing would actually just fumble and say, oh yeah, it's this business opportunity, or it's this part-time thing that we have that it's for you to make more money, and for you to quit your job. Like, they will start telling these people all this stuff, and guess what will people do? They will be like, no, forget it. I'm not going to do that. That's not for me, right? They will just shy away and leave and don't come back, right? What would I do? I would bring curiosity, okay? Just like Daisy did. I would say, hey, this is going to sound a little bit strange, but do you know, or have you heard of anyone, any of your friends or family who is looking to make some extra cash on a part-time basis? That's what I would ask, right? And what would happen? Most people would say, oh, yeah, what is it? They asked. I didn't. And what would I say? Oh my goodness, I'm glad you asked. But listen, and I would look at my watch. But listen, right now, I'm actually going to another appointment. So for me to tell you here, it will be too long and I don't have the time. But it is a very solid company who is looking for sharp individuals to grow here in this city. So why don't you take my number? My name is Eddie. What's your name? And I will shake hands and they'll tell me, okay, well, take my number and call me up and I'll give you more information. As soon as I did that, they are willing to, back in the days, they're like, we can put pen and paper. I don't remember phones could keep information at that time, back in the 98, 99, 2000, I don't know. Anyway, so they will start looking for that, name and number. They will write it down, all right? Again, I'm leading them. And by the time they wrote it down, what I will say is, Well, great meeting you. Now, I'm going to leave. Have a great day. And by the way, just in case I don't hear from you, because we get all busy just like I am right now, what's your contact information? I wouldn't say what's your phone number. I would just say what's your contact information. And many of them will give me their phone number. I don't remember someone giving me their email. It was a phone number. So I will take that. I know their name, so I don't have to write down their name. And I would just take down the number. And that's it. That would take me about 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, quickly. And I got curiosity in there. And then I will take them through our funnel, it was a business opportunity meeting, then it was an interview the next day, then there was follow-up calls, and the funnel kept going eventually until either they will purchase a service, a product, or they will join the team. Right? That's what Daisy and Scrooge story is all about. Dropping that button into the bowl or whatever that thing is, cooking that button with boiling water brings curiosity. But Daisy, had a funnel and she knew what she was doing. She was prepared to present information and allow the person to accept the information and do something about it. Do little bit at a time. Take little baby steps and actions. That, my friends, is how a professional salesperson will actually sell you just about anything, in a very professional way where you don't even feel you're being sold. Okay? So that's what I have for you. It's really, really cool. I actually picked up that book and I read it because as I'm reading, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, Daisy has a funnel and the curiosity with a button. So I want you guys to think about that, okay? Think about what kind of curiosity you can bring to your business, what type of information or valuable information you can give in your industry so that people not only can get something out of what you're offering, but also can get curious and start asking the right questions. But you need to make sure you prepare yourself with your funnel, with what's the process after the curiosity starts. Make sure you have a process that leads them into the ultimate product or service or opportunity that you have. But lead them. Don't push them. Let them ask. You give them information and lead them to that point. All right, so awesome. I hope this helps you. And if it does, I want you to do me a favor. If you really like what you're hearing with these shows that I'm putting together, come back every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. You can see me on Instagram here, on Facebook Live through my page. Now, no matter where you're looking at me, the best way to find out about my next show, to get notifications, is to actually like the page. So if you're on Facebook, go ahead and like page. Just click that button that says like page. If you don't see it, just click right on top of me right here, right on the screen, and it'll show up. I believe it's going to be like on this side here on the left corner of your screen. Anyway, but just like the page and you're going to be notified of all my shows every week, Tuesday. And then in Instagram over here, what you want to do, just follow me. You'll see that. You know what I'm talking about in Instagram. You'll see those circles that, somebody's either live or something like that. But, and with podcasts, guys, you're listening here to my voice. You're not seeing me. Just go to eddiesand.com. That's EDDIESAND.com. So at eddiesand.com, you're going to find the Facebook, the Instagram, and as a matter of fact, there's even an opt-in page form where you can actually get the notes of today's message. All right, you can get that through email, and then get reminders through email as well. All right, and I promise you, I won't spam you or anything. Trust me, don't like that stuff doing it to me, so I don't do it to anybody. All right, guys. Well, glad to see you again. I'm glad you made it. I know, Irene, you got some some information from here, I hope. And I will see you guys later. It is 12:30, so break time is over. Peace. Have a great week, guys. A productive and good week. Bye. Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you, Irene. Great lesson about mindset. You're welcome. You're welcome. Bye, Irene. Good to see. Good to have you here. Share the word. Tell everybody. Bye, Instagram. Bye, Facebook.